Hi everyone, in today's video I will show you how to create a PowerShell script from scratch. So in this video you will learn how to create a PowerShell script from scratch. I will show you how to create a script file, how to define parameters, how to add logic, how to run the script, and the best practices with the scripts in PowerShell. So let's start with creating a script file. In order to do it, you can use the new item command, so new item, and then you can specify the path, or you don't have to. In my case it is not necessary because I am creating that in the PowerShell folder right here, so I can just type in the dot. Then you can specify the name, and now I will name it script and dot, and now the extension is very important. The PowerShell scripts have the PS1 extension, so it is very important to create that, and you can specify the item type, which will be the file. Now, as you can see, my script.ps1 has been created, or you can manually create it in the editor. It doesn't really matter. Now, what is the script structure? We can open that. Maybe it will be easier for me to write it in the notepad. So I will write it in the notepad. So in the notepad I will open script.ps1, and now I have the file. First of all, we will learn how to basically write something in the terminal. So let's say that I want to print hello from script. I can do it by typing in write output, and now hello from script, like this. Of course you have to pass it in quotes because this is a string. I can save that. And now, how to run a script. In order to run a script, you have to do dot backslash and the name of your script, which is script.ps1. I will press enter, and as you can see, I am printing hello from script. And now it's very important to say that in order to run the script, you need to have your execution policy on at least, I think, RemoteSigned. In order to get your execution policy, you have to do something like this. Execution policy. For me, it is RemoteSigned. If you have it on restricted, you will be not able to run the script. I can change it to restricted for a second. So execution policy for the scope of current user, and I will set it to restricted. If you have something like this, you actually cannot run this script. As you can see, we are getting the error, so this script cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled on the system. For more information, see about execution policies on this site. You have to change it to RemoteSigned like this, so current user and RemoteSigned. And now, if I will run it again, as you can see, it is working. So this is the first script, and this is how it works. Second of all, we can add parameters. So let's say that we want to do, for example, something like this. We can add parameter, and now we can pass the string, which will be the name, and we will name this name user. We will set the default parameter of the name to the user. So if someone will not pass the parameter, you will print the user. If someone will pass the parameter will override it, and we will print the parameter passed by user. So I can close that, and now I can write the output, and I can do hello, and the name, and you can save that. So I am doing this in the notepad because I don't have any, I would say, better program to edit that. You can use some programming environments and it will be easier for you, or you can use, for example, PowerShell, and you can use the add content, for example, and add it manually from the terminal. So again, we'll run it. By default, we'll print hello user, as I said, but we can actually pass the parameter to the script. So name, for example, hard reset, And as you can see, it is working. We are printing hello hard reset. Now I will show you how to add the logic, because in the script you can actually add everything that you can use in the PowerShell. So let's say that we want to pass the number, and we will want to check if the number is, for example, greater than 10. So we will pass the number, and now we will do the if statement. Inside of the condition, we will check if the number is greater than 10, like this. And if it is, we will write and output greater than 10. In the other case, so we can close that. In the other case, we will print write output of 10 or less, for example, like this. I will remove this space. And now I will save that, and we can run this script again. So script.ps1. What will happen if I will not pass the value? We are getting 10 or less. Why? Because I think the because in PowerShell it works like that if we are not passing the parameter, so this condition is false, we are actually printing the else value. So if you want to be very specific, you can add the else if, for example. So if the number equals null, then we will print, for example, no parameter. But in that case, it is not really important. I can just now try to do it with the number. So with the number, for example, of 20, it is greater than 10. So it is working fine, because this is how it works. Actually, we can also use the functions inside of the script. So let's create the function. For example, function when we are going to for example, get square of the number. So get square of the number. This program is pretty easy. So we will pass the parameter. It will be the integer, for example, x, and we will return. So we have to close that, and then we will return the x times x. You actually don't have to use this return, I think, because in PowerShell the function returns something automatically, but it is better to write it straight away and everything is clear. So now I will pass the script with the x, so minus, or no, we will do something like this, because we have to call this function. So we have to call this function, so we have to add it here. So result, for example, get and square with the x of 5, and then we can just write and output of the result and the result, like this. And now it should work. I can save that, and I can call this script without the parameter. As you can see, we are getting result 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. I can do, for example, with the 10, it should be 100. So we can run it again. As you can see, result is 100. So this is how it works. We can add the, for example, error handling. So let's say, I will check, we don't have the file, so we will add the error handling with the try catch block. So we will add the try block when we are trying to get content from the file .txt, that, as you probably see here, does not exist. We'll use the error action and stop. And now we will try to catch it, and if the error occurs, we'll catch it and we'll write output with the error occurred, like this. We can close that and it should work. In that case, we will run it. As you can see, we are getting error occurred, but if I will actually create this file, so file.txt, a new, not file but item, of course, so item, I have this file now, and I will call this script. As you can see, we are getting no output because we have to add something to this file in order to get it. So we will open this file, we will add, so for example, this is a file, we will save that, and now we will run this script again. As you can see, we are getting, this is a file, so this is how it works. So that's basically on this video. And once again, it's very important to say that you need to remember about this execution policy. So you need to change it to RemoteSigned in order to make your script work. And that's all. If you found the video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next videos.